Hello everybody and welcome to Steelwing33 Plays Roguelands. I'm Steelwing33 and hello everybody. So welcome to Roguelands. Roguelands is a game made by the same people who made Magicite. But it's a little bit of a different approach to that. It's more fluid, more MMO-y than that. I played a little bit off camera just to sort of get a feeling for how to play the game so I didn't look like a complete mong when I was playing it for the first time here. I don't know if this is going to turn into a series. I'm just taking a look at it. The game is very early in alpha. As you can tell, there's not even any music on the menu right now. It's in super early access. We're only on 0.5, alpha 0.5, which is, still far away from release. As you can see, I played a little bit for a little while here. So we'll be going ahead and we'll be giving this a shot. So, today I'm going to be playing a Steelwing. I guess we'll play a Faith Vitality build, strength build. Yeah, sure, why not? That should be fine. So there's a lot of things going on in this game. So first of all, you can see it still has like the pixel art from Magicite. It's sort of like these like faux pixel art type characters. There's lots of different races to choose from, even this early on in the game. And you can kind of see, wow, it's really loud. I apologize for that. As you can kind of see, there's like little variants. I've unlocked a couple. We'll go with the Bart Simpson look, because why not? There's lots to choose from, lots of uniforms to choose from, lots of stats. You can join different factions. I'm not really sure what these do yet. I haven't played that much of the game up to this point. I wanted to make this video as first looky as possible. I do like the game. It does have multiplayer functionality. So you right click to go into like warrior mode, where you can swing like this big ass energy sword thing I got going on right here. You can jump with the spacebar. You can double jump as many times as you want. Which is nice. You can dash left and right using the Q and E keys, and you can roll on the ground. Woo! So whatever, we'll go ahead and get started here. There we go. There's some music. It's really loud. I apologize. I'm just gonna turn it down just a itsy bitsy bit. There we go. So you can see the game it retains a lot of its pixel art. So big differences between this and a game like Magicite is that this game seems to me to be a lot less about going out and murdering a whole bunch of crap and more about like exploring and surviving as long as possible. I don't know if there's like an ending to the game at all or anything like that. As far as I can tell, there isn't. But again, the game's in really early alpha. We're sort of taking a look at it with my designer eye being the more critical thing that I'm looking at here. From a presentation standpoint, game looks great. There are a couple small things that I don't really like, and there's of course the general bugs and things of that nature that we have to worry about. But that comes with the territory being still in alpha. Can't really blame the game for having bugs when it's not done. Not even close to being done. Beta would be pretty close to being done, but So the two modes we have this like adventuring gathering mode where I have this like little robot. I send the robot to hit trees, and that's what gathers materials for me. I don't really like this that much, to be honest. I preferred Magicite's way of doing it, where you sort of had tools and you had to play it kind of like a Minecraft adventure type game. I think I played a couple episodes of Magicite on the channel as well, way back when. Other things I do like though, the combat's a lot more fluid, and then at the same time, I also don't like the way the combat is in this very much. Again, comparing it to the last game I played by these guys, Magicite was a lot more fluid. It seemed pieced together a little bit better. I also die a lot more in this one than I did in Magicite, which might be paramount. It might be caused entirely by the fact that I'm kind of bad at this game. I was bad at Magicite too, but at least in Magicite, like, I didn't hate myself. I do have a little bit of armor left over from some of my other playthroughs and some other little pieces of gear here and there. We craft using these little emblems. You turn these things into emblems. Again, we're sort of... I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts after we play for a little bit longer, but kind of already tell where this is going for me. The game's not bad. I think it's not as good as Magicite. It feels like a step back from Magicite, and I hate these fucking giant rocks. I think that those are unfair and stupid, and I don't think they should be here. As a designer, it's just sort of unfair that they float around, and you can't break them, so you just sort of have to avoid them. But you're not really... The number of enemies in the space is too great for you to just avoid them. So you start running into these problems where, like, you sort of get, like you guys saw, it bounced back and forth between enemies, which, you know, happened in Magicite, but at least when it happened there, like, you could eat your way out of the situation by, like, killing the things that were bouncing you. This, I got bounced between an unkillable rock and 2 other enemies. The 2 other enemies I could kill, the rock I cannot, so it kind of, it just creates a problem. I don't really like it very much. That being said, you know, that's life. It's not the design choices I would make. I die a lot. I also don't like that you have to, like, mash click these things. We got a race called the Ancient. Alright, well, let's go back to the main menu here, and we'll make her an Ancient guy, I guess. I haven't actually played as the Ancient. What do you do? Not much known about the Aether-sensitive Warlocks. What all races do know is that when crossing paths with an Ancient, something catastrophic happens. I can't speak today. Ancients only emerge from their tombs when they sense a great disturbance in the galaxy. Alright, so they apparently have high faith and high... I think that's magic? Or, like, yeah, it's magic. Okay, so we'll do a magic build. A magic faith build. Play with the idea of being an Ancient. We only have the 1 head, so that's fine. We'll be, yeah, this is fine. Why not? I've never played as any of the other spate races, so what do you do? Oh, you, like, shoot, like, fireballs. That's interesting. I mean, alright, I guess we'll go ahead and head out for a second here. That's a lot of where this game's replayability and a lot of where the fun comes from, for me at least, is playing as the other races in the game. Oh, this weapon is awful. So the sword can hit hit the target multiple times. This thing can only hit them once, so I have to kite. And then it doesn't go... It got, like, that massive delay. Oh, this thing is no S10. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Maybe it does, like, incredible damage as I level up. Maybe that's the case here. And it did, like, a massive amount of damage for some reason. Again, keep in mind that everything I'm saying is... This game is in early alpha, so it's all subject to change over time. That being said, I do wish they had kept a lot of the systems from Magicite and just sort of ported them to, you know, the more space age setting. That would have been fine with me. I wouldn't have been mad. But they decided to go with, like, a radically different type of game, which, I mean, again, I'm not the developer. I can't speak to why they did these things. I know from first-hand experience, sometimes you do stuff because you think it's a good idea, and then it turns out not to be a good idea. But a lot of these seem like core systems, which I don't know. I don't know if this would be a game that I'll be playing on the regular. You know, it's not like Magicite where I played, you know, fucking 60 hours of Magicite. This game's cool. It's just not enough in its current state for me to wholly recommend playing it. Now that might change. You know, we'll probably come back and revisit this over time. +3 portal used. I don't know what that means either. I also don't like... So, they sort of prize you to, like, go out and do stuff. Like, they want you to, like, go collect, come back, fix yourself, repeat over and over again. But unlike in Magicite, where you can sort of do it on the fly, you can only really improve your character from the hub space, which I kind of really hate, like, a lot. Because it makes it so that, like, I can gather up all these materials, but then, like, I can't make medkits on the fly, so if I screw up too much, I die. Which, you know, is not my idea of fun. I don't like the idea of, like, having to be pitch perfect every time I do something. Which, I don't know. I guess it's my fault for, you know, expecting more of Magicite when I booted this up. But, you know, we're sort of... I'm in a position where I sort of have to judge it based on the merits of looking at other things. And I know it's unfair to judge games based on the merits of one another, but when your game looks and feels exactly like another game, and then it's inferior to that game, and in my opinion, almost every way. The only thing I would give it, the game's very... okay. I pissed off a boss. So we're in trouble now. So this boss is ridiculously unfair. It's very fast, much faster than you. And, it sort of hunts you down really hard. But, you know, I don't know. So, what do I think about Magicite? Well, or not Magicite. What do I think about Roguelands? Roguelands is alright. I've definitely played worse games, but unfortunately, I can't say that that's a compliment. Like, just because I have played worse things doesn't excuse the fact that this is not... It's not something that I would play on the regular. I don't like that, like, you have to do this, so you have to, like, click this thing, click that thing, and you get this emblem, and then that's what you use to... That's what you do to upgrade, like, to build stuff. So, like, you kind of do that. It's very mashy, very, like... I don't know. I don't really like it very much. There are a couple things that I find arcane and sort of weird, and I don't know why they're like that. The crafting system, for one, I don't get it. I don't get why this is like this. You know, I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't understand. Then, like, so to make potions and things, like, so I know how to make one kind of potion, which is a mana potion, but, like, I don't know how to make health potions. Because you have to use plant, bug, and monster parts, but the monster parts you get at the beginning of the game, like in this area, don't make health potions. And I don't know if I like that at all. I also hate this weapon. This is the worst thing ever. Like, I don't understand. Like, I wish it went pierced targets. That would make this weapon actually, like, very viable, very useful, especially with the lag time. Like, it's basically impossible to aim. And I don't really like it. I was hoping this other character, maybe this character was going to prove me wrong, but I'm incorrect. Well, we'll give it one more go, and then I'll stop and give my thoughts on the game and on what I think about it in its current state. I'll probably come back and replay the game later, because I do know it's an alpha. I do know that a lot of this stuff is subject to change, and a lot of it is likely going to change. Also very, very loud still on my capture over here. I'm gonna have to turn it down a little bit more. Turn it down to 1, I guess. Yep, that's better, I guess. But I don't know. We'll keep going here. I want to try to kill that boss. I've never killed it. I don't think you can kill it. I think you'd have to be much more leveled up and have much better gear than I currently have in order to try to kill that boss. That being said, you know, it's kind of nice. I wish there were ways, like, I wish I could build better weapons. I wouldn't mind starting out with the Ninja Star if I could also build, like, the Laser Sword, so I could have them interchangeably. I know there's a way to. I've seen it. I think I built a gun on my other character. And the gun was also super, super terrible. Like, I didn't like it at all. It just doesn't feel good to use, you know? It's one of those, when you learn game design, the first thing you learn is to worry about game feel, and end-user experience. I was always taught a lot when at the Paul. And, I took a lot of that to heart. I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and things like that, so the end-user experience is... In that game, when you're playing when you're the DM of a campaign, the end user experience is 100% your job to figure out. If the people you're playing with aren't having fun, it's likely your fault they're not having fun. D&D's not a complicated game. Well, it can be, but in general, it's not terribly complicated. The hard part's being the dungeon master, because then, you know, you don't have... you have to make up the game as you're going, and, you know, that can be tricky sometimes. But, you know, here we are. I know I have, like, this combat ability, like, I can make myself faster and stuff, but I don't know how practically useful this is, to be honest. Like, when you can just dash, like, what's the point of having the ability to move faster when you can dash? And dash infinitely, too. Like, if you're even just reasonably, like, careful with your stamina. You can pretty much dash indefinitely, unless it doesn't work sometimes, in which case, you know, then I get in trouble. But I don't know. The game's tricky. It's hard. This boss is really unfair, in my opinion. It's just a lot faster than you, which, you know, is kind of horse crap. Like, having to constantly dash in order to avoid getting murked by it every couple of seconds is hard. And I'm glad I found a pattern now that actually works super well. But I feel like I'm abusing the game by doing this dashing strategy, and, like, you know, there's something to be said about, like, you should be rewarding the player for doing something clever that makes the game easier, but then there's also a point where if it feels like an abuse of the game, it's not good either. Not to mention, this is also, like, very haggering. Like, I really hope that the reward for this is good, because I'll be mad if it's not. There we go. I got a lot of credits. I think I got... Is that all I got? Did I just get credits? No, I got whatever this is. I don't even know what that is. I destroyed it on accident. Alright. Cool, I guess. Yeah, that wasn't worth it at all. That was not worth it at all. 200 credits is... It seems like a lot, but in my experience from playing, like, 200 credits is nothing. Especially, like, if you're storing them up over runs and runs and runs, like, yeah, okay, 200 credits is fine, but that took a lot of work. And I don't feel rewarded. I should have gotten a piece of gear out of that. I should have gotten something more than just money. Like, that feels cheap. It feels cheap. And I don't know. The game feels a little grindy to me, which, you know, I'm guilty of maybe crying foul on stuff being grindy a little too much. Hey, look, I got shock. What the hell? Alright, I guess. That sound effect's terrible. I don't like that at all. And this ability's terrible. It costs a lot of mana, but it doesn't do any damage. And I'm playing as a character who has high magic stat. Like, I don't know. But I think this is where I'll leave the video. I think I played long enough to really show you guys the game, give you kind of a look into what it is that the game is and what it kind of offers to the table. Overall, I can't really recommend Roguelands right now. It's a pretty good game. It's... How to put this? At the same point in its development cycle, Magicite had me hooked. The game didn't have an ending, and I was fine with that. I had a lot of fun playing it, a lot of fun leveling up and getting forward in the game and being able to make and craft and do things. This game, it doesn't have me gripped. I don't like that dashing is actually just a better way of getting around. There's literally no reason to walk anywhere when you can just dash. Like I was considering earlier in my my time playing this, just replacing the W key with the jump button, because like you can just fly forever. This isn't good that I'm able to do this. Like, granted, I do feel like I'm doing something cool, but like this should not. Your bonus ability should not be the best way to get around. And the only way for me to run out is to mash it, which is actually an inefficient way of getting around. Yeah, like I'm actually gaining stamina by doing it this way. And like I could even screw up and still fly around. And I can still fight. Like, I can still fight while flying through the air like this. And like, granted, in combat mode it's a little less efficient to get around like this, but you can stay airborne forever. Just like a little bit of practice. That's not good. I don't like that. There's a couple things. The game has a lot of potential. I can feel the potential in the game. But I don't know. I think there's just a couple areas where it's mostly the combat. The combat's not where it needs to be for a game like this. The combat is the focus of the game. It's combat and crafting. That's the kind of game this is. And the crafting system is rubbish because you have to return to the base to do it. But as you can see, here are the controls. There's no quick means of returning to base, as far as I can tell. If there is one, let me know. I would like to know. Because that might actually make the game slightly better if there's a way for me to return to base at will. Like hitting B should like return you to base. Stuff like that. The game's pretty. Soundtrack's great. Soundtrack was great in Magicite 2. But overall, I gotta give this game. I gotta give this game. I can't really encourage you to go out and try it. I would say try it if you're really curious. If this game catches your eye, despite what I'm saying, give it a crack. It's got stuff here. There's stuff to do. There's a lot of potential going on here. But the potential feels untapped right now. The combat's really lackluster. I don't like that I have to right click to enter combat mode like this. Like, just let me roll an equipped weapon. Let me swing it. Like, I don't see why that's a thing. Like, yeah, you can return to ship, but you have to like beat a zone, and then coming back here, like, I don't know. It just feels weird. In general, there are these like magic, like the world crystals, those things that I just picked up. They're like some sort of stacking currency. The only problem is that I don't know what they're for. I've been gathering them slowly but surely, but I know there's a shop in the other section of the ship. So the ship's got sections, which I also don't like, because you can see the engines of the ship in the other section of the ship. So where the hell did I go? And that's for me, that's like a minor discrepancy that like is, kind of weird, but stuff like that pisses me off. I don't like it when stuff is like that. Yeah, so these things are 1,000 gold or 1,000 crystal thingies. I have no idea what these things do. So I'm not incentivized to like try to get them because I don't understand them at all. And they're really expensive. I'm sure they're useful for something. I'm sure there's a purpose. Something that expensive normally has a purpose, but I don't know. But yeah, so with that, thank you all for watching. If you like what you saw, let me know. Let me know what you guys think about the game down in the comments below. If you want to see me play more of it, let me know. I'd be willing to make a second video on it, I guess. But I don't know. I don't think this is a game that I'm going to be playing a lot on the channel. It's not something that I really enjoyed playing while I was playing it, so, it's alright. This is like, it's like getting a steak, and the steak's cooked alright, but it's a little dry, and it's not enough where it ruins your meal. You still enjoy yourself, and you still have a good time, but, it just wasn't quite there. You'll never remember this night. That's how I feel right now. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but, that's how people improve. Sometimes you gotta be a little harsh. So yeah, with that, thank you all for watching. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ooh, excuse me. Bye!